Now here we are on day 5, which is shoulder and arms. And I actually started off my shoulder and arms with rear delt. The reason being is I skipped this a lot at the start of the gym, and I didn't realize how important the rear delt was in your physique until about a year in. So I've been putting them at the start of my workout. That way I can hit it as hard as I possibly can for most muscle growth. And just like with any unilateral movement that you do, you want to make sure you're hitting both sides just as hard. So go to failure on both sides and thank me later. And what I'm doing here is a rear delt fly. And what I would recommend for most people is when you're doing this, have the cable line up with your arm. As you can see, mine is not here just because I was recording it for the video. But I would typically have it just a tad bit higher, and I would try to pull it a little more effectively instead of those kinds of reps, which just won't be as effective. And then I'll go into a barbell shoulder press, but I do not have any footage, unfortunately, so we're just going to be using this recycled footage of me. And honestly, you're probably better off doing anything where you can converge, such as this. Except the only reason that I'm doing barbell is just that I actually find that movement a lot of fun to do. So that's why I have it in my program. And this is something that I think a lot of people should hear is if you do an exercise and you actually really enjoy it, I would recommend keeping that in instead of finding the most optimal exercise for said muscle group. And it is important to hit an exercise that'll probably or effectively train your muscle that you're targeting. If you just don't enjoy it, you're probably not going to be pushing yourself as much as you would if you were doing an exercise that you simply enjoyed. And there's my 50 cents, but now we're moving on. And now we are on to side delt raises, or lateral raises. I only do these once a week just because I find that they are very overpowering in terms of my shoulder development. And that's because I spammed these a lot when I was younger. Just believing the internet and saying that this was the most important muscle group for your shoulders. And I skipped out on front delt and rear delt training, which is why my shoulders may be lacking just a little bit. And now for the arms. And as I said earlier in the video, you're probably better opposed to literally any other bicep exercise. While this isn't bad, there's just better ways to target it. Just saying that I still enjoy it, and for me, I still can produce a lot of muscle growth from it. So that's why I keep them in. And same thing here from my last video, I am not using momentum. I'm just trying to push it up strict. And usually that's enough to finish off my biceps and we'd move on to triceps. But unfortunately, I also do not have any tricep clips. So instead, we're going to be using some from a TikToker that I know as Ryan Jewers. And that I actually found this exercise on his page as coming across it. I found it and I tried it, and it has become one of my favorite tricep movements, the JM press. And I would highly recommend checking out his TikTok. He's very informative and knows what he's talking about, as a lot of it is backed up by science. And I would highly recommend for a really long time, so he really does know what he's talking about.
Or just doesn't really know what
and
they're doing, to check
out
out
his
his channel.
A ton of my information from, along with Jeff Nippard, JPG Coaching, and I believe just other kind of sites that I've read. But other than that, that's what I would top off with my shoulder and arms day.